Let's discuss reporting design considerations as it relates to cases and their interaction channels. And when we discuss reporting requirements, we also have to keep in mind dashboards as well. And so first off, I want to go into the reports and dashboards section in Lighting Experience. So I'm going to click the app launcher, and then let's go ahead and select just the standard out-of-the-box service application since we're dealing with the Service Cloud. And so now in the service application, we get to our service home screen. You see some of the widgets here, such as Assistant and Today's Tasks and Recent Records, Top Deals. And this is on your Lighting homepage, which can be customized, by the way, by clicking Edit Page from the gear icon. But we're interested in reports and dashboards. So let's look at what we have available to us. And we've previously installed a few apps off of the App Exchange, such as this customer average case age and then article scores as well. And these came from a few different apps. There was this Knowledge Reports and App Exchange app for service and support. And you can navigate your reports and Lighting Experience through either the all folders to see the different folders that you have that reports are organized in, or all reports to see all reports. And then it also will show you in the all reports list view here the folder that these reside in as well and which ones you're subscribed to. And then you can click into one to view that report, for example. And we don't have a lot of data yet in our org, but I wanted to show you and remind you of what we have so far. And I'll show you as well, in case you don't have these installed in your own org yet, I'll pull these up on the App Exchange and provide the links in this lecture as well. So a few of these different apps that are helpful that I wanted to show. One is known as the App Exchange Dashboard Pack for Sales, Marketing, and Service. And it has a lot of the same reports that we installed previously. I think this one has actually more than just service-related reports, but also marketing and sales. So I'll make this one linked from the resources section of this lecture. The Knowledge Report app, I'll link to that one, and that's these different apps that are in this Knowledge Reports package. And this is that particular app on the App Exchange as well. But beyond those apps off the App Exchange that you can download and install, that'll give you a lot of good reports and dashboards out of the box. You want to be familiar with the different types of reports that are available, and this is kind of revisiting things that were on the admin exam, and that would be the different types of reports, whether it's matrix, tabular, summary, for example, or joined reports, and then as well custom report types. And here I am in the different dashboards, and these are all the dashboards that we have available to us. And these are ones that also came through those apps off the App Exchange. And so the dashboards and the reports, and when you're thinking about the different interaction channels for cases, you could customize some of these, for example, and some of these reports to be grouping these cases by interaction channel or by case record type. And so, for example, this new case is opened by account month to date. Over here we've got 2 for Dickinson PLC and 3 for United Oil and Gas. So we can click here to view the report, and you notice in these dashboards you click this View Report link to drill through and view the corresponding reports. And so here, for example, is new cases opened by account channel year to date. And these channels are the case origin of phone and case origin of web, and then case origin of web here. So this is probably a better example as far as the interaction channel. So let's click on the view report for this one. And we've got a total of 5 records here and the case origins. And you notice Dickinson PLC and United Oil and Gas. And so if I click on edit here, you can customize these reports further. This report is in a summary format, and it has a grouping by the case origin. So you can see as well that you could include to show the details of those cases so that you get more details beyond just the number of records that fits. And so if I want to provide details as well, then you can see the case number, the owner, etc. So I'm going to save that in order to update that report, and then let's click close and select save and close. Okay, so let's go back to our dashboard now, and I believe it's this top one here for customer information, and then it was by channel. And so scrolling down, you see new cases opened by account channel year to date, no data. Try refreshing the dashboard. So I'm going to click refresh, and you can do that on any dashboards to get more current data. because sometimes these dashboards aren't refreshed very often. And so now we've got updated data, and that's being pulled from the report that I just edited. So now this is not intended to go real deep into reports and dashboards, and you will need some familiarity with reports and dashboards. It's not going to be as deep as on the admin exam, most definitely, but just as a reminder, you can edit dashboards by clicking edit. And some of the functionality that's different is you can move these around, and it's a lot more responsive, and you can resize these as well. And dashboards in Lightning Experience support more than 3 columns, and so you can really customize this to fit your individualized needs. But what I want to talk about now, though, is to get back into the reporting design considerations, is to get into custom report types. So if I go into setup, and you may be familiar with custom report types, you may not, but these were on the admin exam. And the idea behind report types and creating custom report types is to build reports between objects that have either master, detail, or lookup relationships. And you can go several levels deep and specify if these records have other related records or not. And so if you remember, if we click continue here, for example, we can create a new custom report type by clicking here. You'll notice that there's several knowledge article custom report types. I think those likely came by way of the AppExchange app for that report. And some of these custom report types have to do with knowledge articles. And so, for example, if I click on this knowledge articles custom report type, you can see the object relationship. And now it just has an object A here and no other relationships. So this is probably not the greatest example because it's saying that this custom report type is managed. This is part of a managed package, meaning this came off of the AppExchange. Also a managed package, some things aren't editable. I notice I've got an edit button here, so let's see if we can edit this any further or not. So all we can do is we can edit like the metadata around this report type, and that would be whether it's deployed or not. We can't really even adjust the labels, it doesn't look like. So I'm going to cancel out of that, and let's create our own custom report type. And so I've gone back into report types, and I'm going to click continue and create new custom report type. First step is to create or select a primary object. I'm going to select cases. And so I'm just going to give this a label of sample case report type. And you have to give this a description. You also have to store this somewhere. And so a lot of times I'll put these in other reports. And this makes this custom report type available to users. The idea behind this is to provide further types of reports that aren't available out of the box in Salesforce. So I'm going to go ahead and select deployed and click next. And it's here in the next screen that we see the related objects that we can relate this to. So our primary object is cases, and then we can define which related records from other objects are returned in report results by choosing a relationship to another object. So to relate another object, we click and then select the secondary object here. So for example, we could pull in or report on cases that have emails associated with them. So for our B object, we're going to select emails. And in this one, for emails, there's nothing else that we can relate. So we can't do a C level or an additional object here. The selected object has no further relatable objects. You can click more info for more info. Or if we were to select a different object, such as solutions, we can then select other related objects that are related to solutions, such as solution feed, and we can relate another object off of solution feed, comments, and we've reached the end of the line there. So the point of this is to show you how you can drill in deeper than the standard report that you can only go or include records or fields from like 1 to 2 objects. Whenever you need to be pulling in data from 3 or more objects is when you want to really do a custom report type. And at each of these levels, you can either say that each record must have at least one related child record or not. It may or may not have if you select the second radio button, for example. And then you notice there that as I selected the other radio button, then B records may or may not have related C records because those are tied in together. And then C records may or may not have D records. So those options are taken away below in the children as we say they may or may not have related records in this B level. So if I select the first radio button again, that opens up this point of designation here for C. And then if I select this first radio button here, I can say that each C record must have at least one D record as well. I'm going to select may or may not, just so that we give ourselves more options here. And then let's go to the next step by clicking Save. And so in this particular sample case report type, this has to do with cases that may or may not have solutions and may or may not have a solution feed, and may or may not have comments in that solution feed. And so there's these many fields available for a report on these different source objects for cases, solutions, solution feed, and comments. Now, if you remember, I've made this deployed status. And so now if I go to create a report, I should find the sample case report type under the other reports folder. So let's go there now. I'm going to go back to the service application in order to expose the reports tab, and then I'm going to click new report, and then in the folders I'm going to select other reports. And you see here, as I expand by clicking the plus sign, we have this sample case report type that we just created. And so those different objects and the number of fields available have to do with these different folders and fields here on the left. In the report builder, we have the primary object of cases, and then you'll see the secondary objects that we had designated as object B, C, and D, and their corresponding fields that are available to report on as well. So we've got solutions, solution feed, and finally comments as well. And so custom report types are very powerful in that you can pull in data either into the body of the report. As an example, you can drag them in from these different objects into the body of the report, but you could also drag them into the filtering side of things. So you could limit like solution IDs that are not equal to like some sort of ID, for example, and filter down further. And you could have further filtering where it's not equal to blank, so the solution feed has to contain content, for example. And I'm just throwing ideas out here. The main point of this is don't worry about following along field for field and value for value. The main point is we've just created a report where we can filter and display values from 4 different objects. And I think the limit on this is 5 objects deep on a custom report type. I don't think that's going to be on the exam at all. But as we wrap this up, as you think about the different interaction channels and the reporting requirements, bear in mind that you can report from multiple objects. And in this example, we were able to report on cases, but not only cases, but those that have solutions attached to them, that have solution feeds on those solutions, and also comments as well. And so now that we are done discussing the different design considerations, and to recap on the last 4 lectures, we looked at profile design considerations, objects to expose design considerations, the sharing model design considerations, and then finally these reporting design considerations as it relates to interaction channels. We're now going to look at case feed page layout assignments in the next lecture.